Hi friends, Sherin Mathews, the storyteller. Today I'm going to tell you an amazing story which I have done for an amazing person who is an amazing friend called Shirin Latif, who's doing an amazing campaign which is championing the cause for women called GorgeousYou. Shirin, I love you and I respect you and I completely believe in what you're doing. And I support you completely with all my heart and all my efforts and all my intelligence and all that I have to offer. I really believe in your campaign and I support you completely, totally. So this story is for Gorgeous You. Once upon a time, there was a girl just like you and me. She had dreams and aspirations and fantasies just like you and me. She loved to read fictions, watch movies, go out, wear nice dresses, wear makeup, look in the mirror and smile, just like you and me. She noticed everything about the other women, their bags and shoes and dresses and earrings and nails and hair, everything, just like you and me. But unlike you and me, she didn't really believe in her dreams or fantasies. She never thought they would ever come true. Unlike you and me, she didn't read the books that she liked. She didn't watch the movies that she fancied. She didn't wear clothes that she wanted to because she was afraid she'll be judged. This girl, unlike you and me, she never wore what she wanted to or the makeup that she wanted to. Even if she did, she went to the mirror, looked at herself and smiled, and then before moving out of the house, she would remove it off. Because she was afraid of being judged and she thought she was ugly. So one day, while this girl was returning home from work, her eyes happened to fall on a beautiful hat on a glass window of a shop. And just like you and me, on an impulse, she smiled and went inside the shop. She took this hat, put it on her head, looked in the mirror and smiled. And there was a lady standing next to her. She looked at her and said, "You look beautiful." And that lady was holding a little girl's hand. The little girl also looked up and asked her a question. She asked, "Are you a princess?" And the girl smiled, and when she turned her head, she saw an old man looking at her and smiling. With all the love and adulation that she was getting, her confidence rose. She felt beautiful. She thought she has to buy this hat. She went to the counter and paid the cashier. The man took the money, smiled at her and said, "You look beautiful." She smiled and walked out of the shop with a spring in her legs and stars in her eyes and sunshine on her smile. She crossed a man whom she crosses every single day, and the man sits there in front of a cafe at the same time reading a newspaper, never bothered to look up at her. Today, he looked up at her and nodded, and she nodded back. She bought some flowers for her mother and went home and rang the bell impatiently for mother to open the door. And when the mother opened the door, she was just surprised to see her girl. She offered her the bouquet and gave her a tight, long hug. And her mother smiled and asked her, "What is it? What have you done? You look so beautiful." And she smiled and said, "It's the hat, Mom." "Hat?" "Yeah, the hat on my head." "The hat on your head." She touched her head and was stunned. There was no hat on her head. She wanted to run back to the shop and get the hat. She just remembered that she had placed the hat on the counter while she was paying and she forgot to take the hat. She walked out of the shop thinking it's still on her head. But she stopped and she slumped down on her couch. After some time, she rose, went to her room, stood in front of the mirror and smiled. For the first time in her life, she realized she was beautiful. She didn't need anybody to tell her she was beautiful. It was her belief in herself that made her so beautiful. It's the same belief that makes you the gorgeous you and me the gorgeous me. Thank you.